guys, welcome to another episode of Masking and Bemoaning. Sans the mask, because I thought my makeup looked nice today. Even though this light is washing me out just a touch, I'm saying that, but it looks different in my viewfinder than it does on camera. But y'all know, playing with lights, playing with different things. So here we are. Sorry about all that. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and this will basically be a recap of things that I have been enjoying but will not be doing a full review on. Yeah, but let me talk about one of the shows I have started reviewing, and I plan on continuing to do a review on this particular one. That is the Netflix show On My Block season 2. I did like 1, and then Game of Thrones came through, and that occupied my time, and I have been away for like basically a month, but I've been traveling and seeing family, those type of things. You know, it's summertime, so here we are. Y'all like this little piece, how this looks today? But anywho, even if we want to talk about even before we get on to On My Block, let's talk about Game of Thrones. It's got like 32 Emmy nominations, despite how that season looked. You want to know why the last season wasn't good? Well, there you go. Because the fact that y'all got a bunch of nominations that were not just tech, because I have always thought that they have, not even talking about deserved, because that sounds kind of, but yeah, I would say they have always deserved good tech awards. So here we are. In any case, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Maybe they will get all of those unjustly, like they gave one to the writers for writing, and this has been a poorly written season, but they also have other awards for writing that for anything basically past season 4. Well, why was you getting nominations and Emmys for writing? But here we are. And they dipped out of Comic-Con this week, which I don't blame them. I wouldn't explain nothing either, so they can go ahead and ruin another franchise. They'll be fine, but you know, the fans have always been, and stan culture in general have always been team too much. And you know, no one needs you threatening their life or their children or where they live or anything like that over a TV show that has been in the can for longer than what we have actually seen it for. So they have been under the impression that they have basically been done. They were basically done for Game of Thrones for like a year. But there's other things to go into it. So that's just how TV works. But come say, come saw. But moving back on to On My Block. The news update for that, we are getting a season 3. So that's the word on the curve. However, the main actors, the core 4, are asking for a pay raise, and y'all know how Netflix likes to do shows, particularly shows of color. Like, She's Got to Have It just got canceled, which, okay, I have always thought that She's Got to Have It, the Netflix show, was a bit struggle bus, in my opinion.
That's my opinion!
But yeah, so they have gotten cleared it, but you know how they do. Netflix, the model for Netflix as far as a business model, I don't know how they're getting paid, because a lot of families share a subscription, which I mean, I get, we share subscriptions, period. I share one with my brother, and just like he does the Netflix, I do the Prime, and we just split them up amongst ourselves, as one is ought to do, you know. And so yeah, they're asking for the comparable pay, the same way that 13 Reasons Why is being paid now. On My Block pulled in the numbers, some of the best streaming numbers just just so far in 2019, and it has way surpassed the streaming numbers for 13 Reasons Why. And I'm also under the impression with 13 Reasons Why, that irresponsible show about, you know, teen suicide and that weird goose chase she was sending people on, like, this is 13 Reasons Why I Killed Myself. Like, why would you wait that to be a show? First of all, it was based on some sloppy book, and it only was needed to be 1 season. What are we doing? I need to put this down. I have the lip gloss that I have on in my hand. It is from Anastasia of Beverly Hills. It's in color Sunset Strip. So I could kind of lean forward so you can see this a bit. Like my skin finish is looking nice. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Trying to get right back to it. Okay, something else that I have been in, but yeah, my next, anywho, I said all that to say the next mask in Moaning, I'll get back to on my block. I had actually reviewed episode 2, but I wanted it to be a little bit more concise. I was rambling. I was like, this review is longer than the actual episode. That's a problem. Okay. But moving on to something else that I have been enjoying, but I'm not going to do a full review on. It is Pose. And in the last episode, well, not the last episode, but the most poignant episode that I've seen, so it was the one before last, it is when the one where, I guess I need to tell y'all, it's always spoilers in this video, but that's the one where Candy died. Candy had was murdered she was doing sex work. But, and I know a lot of people like, well, Candy deserves better. Well, I believe that which yes, but I think the point of it was that is a reflection of what's really going on. Even though this was set like 20 years ago, this is some of the same things that is happening to, you know, trans women, particularly black ones, currently. And nothing is being done about it. It also took you through the motions of how difficult it is to get just even someone's body when you don't have any kind of blood relation to them, and you don't have any, and there's no legal documents to even say that XYZ is going to handle my affairs, because also Candy is young. I don't know if Candy's even 30 in this episode, but that's a reflection of what's currently going on. I wonder if it was always the case that particular actress, her name is Angelica Ross, is a trans activist in real life. So I'm wondering if it was from jump that she always knew she was going to die. And because she also is, at the same time, you know, between that work, she's also going to be on American Horror Story, the next upcoming season, which is also a Ryan Murphy production. So that, I do wonder if that was always written that she was going to die, because we haven't had anyone that is really close as far as the main characters that we know. No main character has died. They have been dealing with, of course, because it's set in start out mid 80s, early 90s. It's where we are now, because yeah, Vogue just came out. I think it's 93. I'll double check that. But so we're dealing with the HIV crisis. Even though 2 of our main characters, Blanca and Pray Tell, do have HIV, and I think at this point for both of them it has grown into AIDS. I know it has for Blanca. I want to say Pray Tell too, because he wasn't taking his medicine. So yeah. So, but we haven't had so far any main character die. There has actually been, even the side characters, no one that we knew that we have been kind of following, not anybody that's in any of the houses personally has died until that point too. So I think if there might have been a statement piece, because you do actually go through the motions with people mourning her, that like Candy and Pray Tell, it was not a very good relationship, or that, well, Pray Tell was always putting Candy down, but it has always been a relationship where that kind of like frenemy, nasty, nice kind of relationship that people have with each other. But it's not that I don't want you, you know, on this earth. I don't wish you ill will or anything like that. I actually want you to succeed. But you know, some people's relationships with their friends, it's weird like that. So, and of course, the last people like they didn't like that the last thing that he said to her was something nasty. I'm like, well, that's how life goes. we could all do to be a little kinder to one another, because we don't know where death is. That's a fact of life. So I was like, if he would have acted any other way, just out of nowhere, that would have been weird too. So that's not realistic. I know I did not want to see Candy die, but like, I get it. I think that's supposed to be a reflection of what happens in real life and how we treat each other in real life. And that goes beyond sexuality. But even though the main focus is in this ballroom trans LGBT community and how they deal with each other, because it's like, for the most part, you know, even though the people that were of different houses and they had split up and did their own thing, these people were family. So I thought that was well done. It has been the tone has been a little more serious this season, so I think that was maybe, it's a little early in the season to say that was their penultimate episode, but yeah. So I've been enjoying that, and they got Emmy nomination too. So, but I was like, it would be nice if you actually, you know, nominated some of the actors and actresses. Just saying. All right, moving on to something else that I did not think that I would enjoy so much is actually the EUPHORIA. I have actually surprisingly really liked it, and the reason why I say surprisingly, this is clearly not my age group. I'm in my early 30s. I have aged out of some of these issues. Some of these issues was not an issue for me when I was going to high school. One, because when I was in high school, it was the early 2000s. Like, I was literally in high school in 2000. I was a freshman. And I went to all girls school. So some of the issues, it's just not something that I would have now. But yeah, you have issues. There's always somebody that has taken drugs. And they have had some kind of issue like that. There's always been body image issues, abusive relationships. So that is universal. But just like some things, it's just, you kind of feel like you age out of it because you're an adult, and I'm basically looking at children, even though everyone playing in these roles is legally an adult. At least the ones that are supposed to be our main characters. Even the person that's narrating this is a character named Rue. Rue is played by Zendaya. And she is a addict. Drug addict. Yeah, she don't really drink like that. It's drugs. But she is one of those people that have always had that addictive personality. And it starts off with basically, she started back school coming off of the summer where she OD'd and her sister, which I can't recall her name right now, but the girl that plays her is Storm Reed, and she is the girl that was in, what's the name of that? I can't think of that now. It had Oprah, and it was Ava DuVernay. Ava DuVernay directed it. Okay, moving on. Maybe it'll pop back in my head when I will go back. When I go back and edit it. And I'll, A Twinkle in Time. Boom. That's what she was in. She was the main character in A Twinkle in Time. But she's a BC character, I would say, because the main one is focusing on Rue and her friend Jules. Jules is a trans girl. Actually played by a trans actress. Well, she did not, this person identified as non-binary, but she's playing trans. Jules is a girl. Jules was basically doing like some sex work, which is super disturbing because she is a child. I don't think, they are just now seniors, but they're all doing something that's disturbing because these are basically, we're looking at children, even though that they are all legally grown, like I've said. But that may be the point of this. So yeah, there's another girl named Kat. She's, you know, the resident fat girl, who's not that fat, but that's beside the point. But she is just bigger than all her friends. And she has some issues with that. But here's the other thing, and this is some of the issue that I had with even the with Shrill. It was just like some of it gets to be like, whoa, it's me, I'm so fat and no one loves me. Because I will give Kat the benefit of the doubt, because Kat again is a child, and Andy, what her real name is Addie Bryden. But the main character in Shrill is very grown, but she was just settling for less because she was also a big girl. But the thing with Kat is she was getting her own way, and she just decided, like, now that she's the fat girl, she's just gonna be, I'm gonna have sex with everybody. She started, like, she's become like a webcam girl, and she's getting paid off of that because someone did release a video of her having sex. Although you can't see her face, it never comes back. I don't know exactly who even released it, and we still don't know. She doesn't know, because obviously, even though the person is a child as well, then that will be considered to be child porn. So you will go to what? Jail. Or you will have, not even to jail, you will be listed as a sex offender for the rest of your life because you're doing that. Kids, stop sharing those videos. Stop taking nudes and all that kind of stuff that always lives on the internet and in the cloud. I don't understand the cloud. I was from jump. I was like, I know I can put things in there. I know I can I don't really know how to take them out. That's the issue with the cloud. But that's beside the point. So yeah. And you got Maddie, who is my least favorite character. But I think it's because that actress cannot act. Her monotone dead voice, it bothers me. More so than anything. She's in an abusive relationship with a guy named Nate. Nate is your all-American, even though he's played by, I guess, an Australian, New Zealander actor. Nate is, you know, he's the quarterback. He's got the rich family. His daddy has a secret as well. His daddy is one of, I don't want to say Jules is John, but I don't know what else to do right now. And yeah, but still, that's the issue. Even though you out here being, I can't even say gay, I guess. Bi, whatever we're gonna, but the point is that is pedophilia because she is underage. That's the point. And he has like a construction company, and he's a big deal in the town. He's like one of the richest people. You know, and you out here threatening Jules and holding that over her, but that's not gonna take away, because when all that comes over, her life's gonna be ruined as well. So Nate, you know, basically he's set up. People have said that Nate has been dealing with his own sexuality, but this is my thing. I don't know, because not to say that these two things can't coexist in the same time, but he set up that whole account to trap Jules to see who this was that his dad, well, he knew because he saw his dad's tapes. Because first of all, you out here messing with underage people. Most of them are trans, but that's beside the point. Most of them are underage. So that's pedophilia. Why are you taping it? What are you doing? Like, that doesn't make sense. So I don't know. I don't know how long that's gonna remain a secret. If either Nate is going to get mad and send that out, because he's been messing in his dad's drawer for years. So if all it takes is for Nate to get mad, and then here we are. And that can all be brought to the light, even though he, you know, pushed up on Jules to keep her silent. Because like, he set up a whole profile on the gay apps to trap her. He had pictures in his phone of penises, but none of them were his. So this was all part of the trap. Because he was having a conversation with Jules under a different name. You know how you do back and forth and just meeting up. And Rue was like, she didn't want her to go meet up in the park because it was unsafe, which, you know, yeah. And yeah, so that's the only reason that gave me pause. So I don't know if it's necessarily that he was struggling with his sexuality, because he did. This particular thing with Jules was to set Jules up so she would not turn around and use that information against his family. Okay, so but anywho, he we do see his psyche just across different things that we know that he is abusive, because back to Maddie, whose voice I cannot stand. Basically, he chokes out Maddie when they get into, it's not even a fight, at the carnival, because she was, he's always had this built up idea of what he wants a perfect woman to be, and she has conformed because you know, Maddie's parents are immigrants. Her mother is an esthetician, her dad, I think he works in construction, but she's somehow Latino. That's what I know. And she was like, she didn't ever want, she just wanted to be a housewife like the other women she's seen in town. She really didn't want to have any kind of skill about anything else. She just kind of wanted to be like a rich, you know, a housewife of XYZ. It's set in California, but clearly not Beverly Hills or anything like that. So yeah, she has always, and this isn't the first time he put her in an uncomfortable situation, but there have been other times where, but she always signed on for the lie. And it's not to blame her. I'm not blaming her. I'm saying that she has, it's not even coercion, but she's also gone along with it. You know, people have gone along to get along. It's kind of what it is, because she too has this image in her head of what she wants her life to look like. So that's an interesting parallel between her and Nate, because they both, you know, it's both fraudulent. It's both a messed up psyche. Like, they're both not being honest with themselves and each other. So there's that. It has been interesting. Yeah, and then Rue, going back to her, has decided that she is in love with Jules. She has not known Jules very long. Jules just moved into town. And it's just, I think Jules is pulling back because Rue, but back with her addictive personality, you know, it's team too much. Always, she's doing a lot, and Jules is also a kid too. But no one wants to be burdened with the. And someone else, another kid said, and then I know she meant it as a compliment, whose name I cannot remember right now, but I know it's Judge Apatow's daughter. Her real name is like Maud or something like that. But she said, well, you know, you're good for Rue. You're the reason she's sober. Like, that's a lot of pressure to put on anybody, but she's the reason. And that is the same thing Rue has kind of, if she's not outright said it, she suggested it. And it's just, you know, again, team too much, and she's pulling back. So I don't want to be the reason why you try to, you know, basically overdose and kill yourself and want to be out of here. Because, like, her main drug issues came when her father was sick. And she was helping to caretake for him when her mom was at work. So she started taking the, you know, his cancer drugs with him, because he was yeah, he was really sick. So she was taking it. So she's always done it to kind of numb herself. But yeah, it's just getting crazy. I'm like, that is going to be interesting, because I'm wondering when it's going to turn, because I feel bad for Jules, because again, that is so much pressure. It's just too much. Something else I've been watching is Queen Sugar. Queen Sugar has been consistent and been good, and here's the thing, I was like, I'm ready for them to do whatever it is they're going to do with Nova. Nova is in the wrong. You do not write a book about your family's memories, and all of them, none of them except for like one is your memory. You're putting out all your family's dirt because it also seems like you needed something to write and your life wasn't particularly interesting. So it's just like, you know, your father just died. Your sister moved down here because she is the one taking care of business. Charlie is right. People may not like Charlie for whatever reason. I think it's because, much like Nova, they have an issue with her being biracial. Even though, here's the other thing, she made it seem like, and it was not clear to last season, that, you know, Charlie is not no love child. Nova and Ralph Angel's mama did not want to marry their dad, Ernest. So, but they had already had Nova. Like, I wasn't actually sure that Nova was the oldest. I couldn't tell. I thought it was Charlie, but no, Nova's the oldest. But their mother would not marry. So this is quite a few years before Ralph Angel. Cause yeah, Charlie and Nova like in their 40s or at least late 30s, and Ralph Angel's in his mid to early 20s. So yeah, what was I saying? That he, after you already got this baby, he wanted to be married, and then their mama was like on some hippy dippy wild child stuff that she had to kind of grow out on her own. But within this time, he was in the service. He had moved out to California, or he was stationed out there. He had met Charlie's mama. They had gotten married. They stayed together and were married for a little bit of time, enough to have Charlie. So at least, let's say maybe 5 years tops. Yeah, and then, but he wanted to, come back to Louisiana. It didn't work out. But it wasn't like her white mama didn't do nothing to your black mama. So it's not even that. It's not even now that it was less complicated when that was explained. It's just like your mom did not want to marry your daddy at first, so he moved on, and then when he was a divorcee, during some time, a divorcee would already having children. They rekindled their relationship, got married, and went on to have Ralph Angel. That's made it seem like it was some dirty situation. And like Charlie, I think Nova is jealous of Charlie because maybe she feels that her father doted on Charlie, but that didn't really seem to be the case either, because Charlie did not live in Louisiana the whole time. She would only come during the summer. So you had your dad the whole time, you and Ralph Angel. So of course it's gonna maybe be a little extra in the summertime because this is the kid you don't see always. But Charlie has always known her family. Charlie has, always come down. But yeah. And this is the thing that gets me about all of it, even between Nova and Ralph Angel. It's like y'all call Charlie in to fix mess. From the jump street. Now, you may not like everything that she's doing, but Charlie, moved there to take care of her father's affairs. Then she found out about her husband's affairs. Or she found out just before their dad died. Didn't nobody know the daddy was sick. They didn't know what kind of debt he had. They didn't know that sugarcane wasn't coming in. They didn't know he took a side job. Just, how old people do and keep up all these lies. Not even lies, just secrets. That, because Charlie, has an MBA. Charlie is the business lady. She is the money lady. And clearly she was doing her daddy's taxes, but you can't make him give all your information. And she wanted to come down. This happened on the very first episode of Queen Sugar. She was calling to make sure everything was all right. She was going to be making her way down there because she goes, every year, whatever, at least to, do his taxes and help him with his financial things that he would let her help him with. And then he dies to have a heart attack. So, yeah. But from the jump, Charlie has been dealing with this, like, y'all ain't grown sugarcane. Y'all was mad because Charlie wanted to sell the farm. Which I get that she wanted to sell the farm because then none of y'all really know nothing about planting cane. Even though that's what your dad had done, is different. Even you going out to help is different than you being the sole operator. So Charlie didn't know what to do about it. It's a lot. And that they had to make sure that the ground was good, because sometimes you have good years and bad years. He was already in debt. It's a lot of things to consider. So it's like, I wouldn't even be, even though we're talking about legacy and all that, but you know, that takes time and a muscle and